Putin caveated his Satan II missile launch by saying, "Food for thought for those who try to threaten Russia." Hi guys, and welcome back to the Storm Cellar. You know, there's been a lot of combat action happening this week in Ukraine, and it is getting crazier by the minute. On Monday, the city of Kharkiv, 20 miles from the Russian border, was bombed and underwent massive rocket attacks, killing and wounding a lot of people. However, the big news is that despite Putin's declaration of victory in Mariupol, after dropping an inordinate amount of 3,000-pound bombs on them, 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers are hunkered down in a steel mill and offering tough resistance to the Russians. They refuse to give up and believe if they did, Putin wouldn't treat them humanely. There's a very good possibility that would be true. The Russians have to take Mariupol, as well as the entire Ukrainian coastal region. This would deprive the Ukrainians of not only a seaport, but it would provide a land corridor to the Crimean Peninsula. Ultimately, Russia wants to control from eastern Ukraine all the way to Moldova. I truly believe Moldova is the next target of opportunity for Russia. However, Kaliningrad, part of the Russian Federation, which borders Lithuania and Poland, is talking about breaking away from Russia. This will most definitely be interesting. President Biden has authorized another $800 million to Ukraine for artillery pieces, armored vehicles, and drones. This is in addition to the $3.6 billion already given to them. Now, these drones consist of 121 tactical Phoenix Ghost and 300 of the 300 or 600 variant Switchblade drones. Now, these are essentially unmanned kamikaze drones which carries explosives and can range from small detonation to even tank busters, depending on the variant that they get. Unfortunately, sending U.S.-made fighter jets to Ukraine would be useless due to the extensive training involved. That's why sending the Polish MiG-29s would have been a great idea, but it just didn't happen. However, Poland is sending badly needed tanks to Ukraine. The U.S., UK, and Canadian C-17s are delivering these much-needed arms to airfields just outside of the Ukrainian border, and they're taking those back and executing very well with them. Last week, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres went to Russia to speak with Putin. I believe this was a total waste of jet fuel, but I guess he had to show he was doing something to earn his UN paycheck. Look, Putin was humiliated when his Russian warship Moskva was struck by 2 Ukrainian missiles and sank. So he's dug his heels in and refusing any kind of peace talks. He's already determined his goals for expansion, and he is going for it. Not to be outdone, the U.S. Secretaries of State and Defense made a public relations stop in Ukraine this week. I can only imagine Zelensky thinking to himself, the U.S. should just send more arms and less diplomats with cameras. Putin claimed Russia successfully launched its RS-28 Sarmat, or as the West calls it, Satan II, which is quite an appropriate name. It's a MIRV, multi-independently reentry vehicle, equipped with heavy ICBM. It can be delivered with hypersonic glide vehicles and can carry up to 12 nuclear warheads. Putin caveated his Satan II missile launch by saying, "Food for thought for those who try to threaten Russia." Although outmatched militarily, the Ukrainians, with the help of the West, are really holding their own. Russia's making operational strides in different parts of Ukraine. However, they have had a huge casualty rate, which is believed to be about 40%. It's also estimated they have lost over 30,000 troops in combat. Apparently, Ukraine is taking the fight to the Russian motherland as well. Yesterday, 3 transmitter towers were destroyed inside Russia. They were used to transmit propaganda to Ukraine and Moldova. Okay, I'll leave you with my final thoughts on this. 1, Putin is saber-rattling his cyber attack and ICBM capabilities. He's threatened to use cyber attacks against anyone who helps Ukraine and ICBMs for any perceived attack on Russia. Remember, the U.S. has the exact, if not better and more capability. I guess it all depends on who draws their gun first. This, unfortunately, could force Putin's hand into doing something very irrational. 2. A continuation of providing Ukraine with arms is paramount and has to be done expeditiously. Export license and other red tape has to be waived or fast-tracked. 3. I believe Russia will go no further than up to NATO nations and will stop there until he determines if other world events, for example, China's actions, will allow him to go further into NATO nations. And unfortunately, that means total war. All right, I'll leave it there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like it, subscribe to the channel, and tell me what you think in the comments section below. So until next time, be sure your takeoff and landings equal.